Hello there. So today I want to talk about religious values, secularism. Basically, my understanding is the secular world is growing, and there's a reason for this. I think that the religious people are failing. Their people they're teaching, and because of that, people are finding themselves just going to secularism. They don't understand why they should care about their religion. They don't understand what they should be caring about with it. Their questions aren't getting answered, and these things are just not making sense to them, and they're just lost and confused, and they find atheists out there, atheist programs and all this stuff, and they just realize, these guys are making more sense than the people I'm dealing with. And I think the problem is religious people are just they tend to teach that these things religiously are truth. They don't teach here's the values. They teach here's the truth. And by default of the truth is the values. They have it backwards. And when you have it backwards, you're going to lose the people you want to get it forward. They're going to get it backwards themselves. That's what's happening. The atheist people, the people going off, are getting it all backwards. You can hear them out. Listen to an atheist program. Hear the atheists reciting things from the Bible that they're hating on. They literally get it backwards. I imagine they're getting it backwards because they learned it backwards. I don't imagine they're getting it backwards and they didn't learn it backwards or whatever it is. That's a finger pointing game we don't have to play. At the end of the day, they don't get it. They all they learned was here's the truth, and the truth is this, and God did that, and blah blah blah, and all this stuff is the truth. And the atheists just like, I don't care. And the seculars and they're finding themselves leaving their faith and becoming secular because they don't care. They don't care about the truth that you're telling them is the truth. Then the atheist says, well, if that's the truth, provide me evidence. And then you're like, what do you mean provide you? We know this is true. And you're like, okay, bye bye, and end of story. They don't get anywhere. I think that this is a failure on religious people. You can argue, if I'm going to teach you how to argue to atheists, because I find that religious people do not know how to argue to atheists, and they end up failing and losing every debate, every argument, all that stuff, and it just doesn't work. You can find all these videos online saying that the atheist is winning the atheist, but usually most of the time the atheist seems to me, at least, that they're winning the debates. That's what it looks like to me. The reason they're winning the debates is because they're talking two different languages, essentially. The atheist is saying, prove to me the truth. The religious person is saying, this is the truth, but you're for some reason not getting it. What they're not getting is the value, the worth. What they're not getting is that without your worldview, that you're supposed to have conveyed to them properly, they're supposed to have learned properly and understand properly, there's no value in life itself. Life itself only has value from a religious perspective. Without a religious perspective, a lot of secular people won't like this. I've been around my fair share of seculars. They don't like this idea that, oh, well, you're saying that you have to believe in God to believe in values, but God is immoral and God is this and God is that. Look in the Bible. It's like, I will argue that you only can learn to be moral and religious values itself and all that stuff come from religion, stems from religion. Find me where you learn values otherwise. And the atheist would say, well, you learn values otherwise from just knowing it. Somehow we all just know it. All the immoral acts that's been going on for thousands of years, and people just raping and killing and murdering and stealing and doing all these things, but we all just know morality. Great. Thank you, Sherlock. Like now everything's solved because you decided we all just know these things. We have evolved to somehow magically know these things. Even though today you will see rioting and looting and people stealing and people doing all these things and people killing and all that stuff. It hasn't exactly gone away, but we have evolved and we all just know these things. No, we don't. And religious people need to do better. They need to teach that these are values from God and that here is the values and why they matter, why they're worthwhile. Here, I am telling you gold and explain to them, make sure they understand what you're selling them is gold. What you're giving them is gold. Make sure they know that. It's like you're trying to sell the religious person learning about the truth thing. It's like they're just basically arguing when a person is learning in a religious institution, a synagogue or yeshiva or whatever it is, and the rabbi or whoever, the priest, whatever it is teaching, they're saying, well, here's the truth. And the person's like, you're telling me the truth is that gold is valuable. And they're like, yes. Well, I'm saying that the truth is the rock is valuable. It's more valuable than the gold, actually. And he's like, no, gold is more valuable than the rock. And you're saying, no, the rock is more valuable than the gold. Prove to me otherwise. And they're like, well, we all know that the gold is just more valuable. Like, why is it more valuable? And you're having a conversation here of truth. And you're not going to get anywhere. The truth is, we know gold is more valuable. So by default, because we understand and know the value of gold, we also know that it's true that gold is more valuable. It's the same thing here. If you just have to actually make the person understand why it's more valuable, that it is more valuable. The gold we know. You don't have to explain that hard to the person to know gold is more valuable. That's not a hard thing to do. But here, you have to actually work at it. You have to make them understand that this is gold, this is more valuable. And by default, they are going to know it's the truth. They're going to know that God is the truth and all that stuff, just by default. But it's only going to work like that. If you're going to try telling them just nicely, the truth is this. Oh, you have questions? Well, the truth is just have faith in God and just do what I'm telling you to do, and that's the truth. And they'll say, okay, well, you're telling me about the gold. I'm going to go back to the rock. Well, we'll call it rockism. I care about rockism, and you care about goldism. And, it's all the same to me. What do I care? They're not understanding the value of the gold. Make sure you can explain to an atheist the value of the gold, and that what they're talking about value, is the rock, which has no value. No one has any interest anywhere to trade rock, as far as I'm concerned. No one's going to say, I want to trade you this product for a piece of rock. I don't think that's a thing. No one cares about that. I guess it depends on the rock. I mean, an actual rock that no one cares about. But gold, people care about. But when you're trying to explain something in gold, it doesn't work. So my point here, bottom line message here is, religious people have to do better. They got to teach the values and focus on values. Don't even talk about truth. Who cares about truth? These people are sick and tired of hearing, this is the truth, and listen to the truth and embrace the truth. They're sick of that. No one wants to hear about this stuff of being the truth. They'll embrace it and they'll take it in. Just tell them the worth. Tell them the value. Sell them on it. Make them believe it. Make them want it. Make them walk away thinking, wow, this is golden. Make that happen. All the best. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Hopefully you guys would join me on my group, American Values. And you could find me on Instagram. I think Andrew Levy 58. And here. Thank you. All the best. Thanks for watching.